Exploring the Divine Secret Garden. I'm the Christian whistleblower, Jeffrey Daugherty, and this is our continuing series looking into the Divine Secret Garden. It's a book written by John Pennella, and people tell us that tell me that we're very much alike, and I did have several moments when I'm reading this book that I thought, you know what, this sounds like I wrote it. So there's a lot of correlation between what John has written and what I have written and what I continue to teach and believe. People say, why don't you have John on the show? John doesn't do interviews anymore. So there you go. That's why why we haven't done that. So hello to everyone. Canada, Mystery Johnson, Jenny Pierre, Sue Duda, Among Wolves, Christine Lester, people filing in. Glad to have you here. So we're going to talk about the Divine Secret Garden. Again, hey, Sebastian. Again, Sebastian and I were just over at the Leak Project for a great show. And it's nice to see him again over here. I don't believe everything about the Divine Secret Garden books, but there's a lot of good stuff in there. So we'll eat the meat, we'll spit out the bones, and we will pull down some good, interesting stuff from this book, and we'll find what we can. We'll do what we can. We'll see what we can see. We'll be what we can be. We'll be all that we can be, right? Excelente. So, ladies and gentlemen, glad to have you here. Glad to be here. The last broadcast I did may have been one of the most important to date. I hope that you'll go and look at it. It was called, what was it called? Battle of the Gods, or the End of Gods and Men. Very, very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. Make sure you do check that out. Hello, CS, Tiffany. It's very, very important. To those of you that are new, I salute you for being here, seeking after truth. To those of you that are always here, my heart goes out to you. Thank you very much. Namaste. And ask if you should support financially. If you want to, you can use the $ right beneath. That's the super chat. And that's for an instant support. Or you can go to my website, which I just put in. You can use PayPal. Wow, even if you don't have PayPal. And we do appreciate all your help. So let's get into the Divine Secret Garden. Let's start checking it out. And I'm going to fire up my other computer so I can still maintain a little bit of an eyeball on the chat room while we are going through this important information. All righty. Hope everybody's having a great Monday. I'm off on my schedule today. A little bit crazy, but you know what? I got out on the beach for a half an hour, got my bike ride in, got my being in contact with the earth for a half an hour. That all helps out. And that's stuff that you should all do. Not that I should tell you what to do, but you should do it. Because being in contact with the earth at least a half hour every day, that will change your life completely. Or I'm not Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, and you're not listening to this program right now. Of course you are. So here we go. Jeff, what's the intention on your personal candle? Private. I'll let you know tomorrow if it worked out. So it's private. A lot of intentions are private. A lot of intentions are personal. And there you go. All right. So Divine Secret Garden. We are the soul. We, the soul, are the planted seeds into the veil of a fleshly body, which is called the decaying avatar. I believe that 110%. I don't know if I agree with soul. I would probably put spirit there, but that's tomato. I would say our spirit is a planted seed that's in this mud hut body, this decaying avatar. I wouldn't use the word avatar, but the spirit within is the seed of the father and mother. that's been planted into this human being. And he says it hasn't yet been regenerated. I would argue that it's in the process of being regenerated. I would argue that we are in the process of becoming baby gods. I don't think I'm sharing this, am I? I'm not. Now I am. I would argue we're in the process of being regenerated. Now I'm told that there's also an evil seed, and I believe it. I didn't believe it so much even up to a couple weeks ago, but I've come to believe and realize that there is an evil seed. There are children of the adversary, which are also planted inside this cocoon of this flesh and blood human body. So there's the seeds of the father and mother, which I hope are us. Then there's the seeds of the fallen ones, fabricated ones. He says, read the Time Loop Chronicles series for more information. I understand the Time Loop Chronicles are actually novels, but at any rate, all good seed must learn that this cocoon must be shed to become perfect again, like father and mother. Absolutely. We came into this body by nefarious means. We were conned and tricked into it. So getting out of it is job one. The seeds also represent the word or the oral communication, the connection between father and mother as it pertains to wisdom, instruction, and knowledge. We have learned that the word was never intended to be written down on some physical apparatus because matter's in decay and it becomes perverted. I think that's a very interesting statement. We know the Bible, the word of God, is not the word of God. It's the word of God, but it's not the word of the father and mother. It's the wisdom from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It's mixed. But the word is spirit, and the word is not matter-based. I agree with that. It is not matter-based. Even the word, the Christ who became flesh, the word, the Elohim who became flesh, was not matter-based. Matter sounds like batter. I've been on low carbs and I would love some pancakes, but I'm not going to have them. It's amazing how much you crave carbs when you stop eating carbs. Carbs are bad. Don't eat them. It'll change your life. So when the Father speaks to us or the Mother speaks to us via the Son, it's done in spirit, not in flesh. Understand your connection to Father and Mother is always via the Spirit as the hidden word enters your mind and is being consumed. You've got to get this through your head. People say to me, Sandra D, did I miss an appointment with you? I need somebody helping me. That's so bad. Parasites need carbs to eat. You've got to understand that you never hear from God. And if you're hearing from God, you're not hearing from the Father, Mother, because the Father, Mother do not talk in words. They do not communicate in sounds. They communicate in pure intention. Well, Jeff, I heard from God. No, you didn't. Or you might have heard from God, but you didn't hear from the Mother, Father. Jeff, Mother and Father told me. No, they didn't. When you truly hear from God, and I'm trying to get that word out of my language, when you truly hear from the Father, Mother, when you truly hear from divinity, it's not words. It's never words, because the realm of the divine is a realm that is beyond words and does not have words. So you will never get a audible message from divinity, but you might get one from God. You will never hear the voice of divinity, but you might hear the voice of God. So what am I saying? Stop listening to God and start listening for divinity. Boom. That's worth the price of admission right there. It is my words that are spirit and they are eternal. I'll guarantee you in the Greek, I don't know which scripture he's quoting here, but it says, my words are spiritual and eternal. What he's saying here is I don't talk in words. I talk in spirit, which is eternal. Bam. I love it when a plan comes together. Do I have it? Oh, I think I have it. I love it when a plan comes together. Yes, I do. I love it when a plan comes together. Indeed, that's an old cigar. Brother Jeff Prop. Where's Brother Jeff been anyway? We'll see Brother Jeff again before too long. But I do love it when a plan comes together. As an example, I don't like that prayer, Blue Apple, to be frank with you. For example, a father and mother would never abandon, would never destroy, or would never threaten to burn their child in a fiery hell, or demand worship from their children because of their lack or multiple errors. This should be encoded within all true seeds. In other words, if it just doesn't sit right with you that a father and mother would abandon their children, if it doesn't sit right with you that a father or mother would destroy their children, if it doesn't sit right with you that a father or mother would burn their children in a fiery hell, then you probably have a soul. You're probably one of the good seed. Now, if you think that God is righteous and he has the right to destroy, threaten, and burn people because he wants to, if you believe that, then you probably don't have a soul. And you're probably one of the bad, wicked, and evil seed. And you're probably just here listening to try and torment and troll me. It's possible that you could be turned around. I don't know. But that's just my experience. This is encoded within all true seeds. This idea of destroying, abandoning, burning in a lake of fire is an unacceptable belief to anyone that has a true spirit. To anyone that has a true connection to father and mother, we could never accept that. And if you do, then you're not of the father-mother. This should be encoded within all true seeds. Many have allowed themselves to follow a new way and a new God who did not follow these protocols, and they have become corrupted. The Christ never has been and never will be the Bible. The Christ is not the Bible. He's the incorruptible Elohim. Now let's see what he says here. Here's the mystery. I don't know anything about the Emerald Tablets. I've never read them. I've tried to read them. I just can't get through them. They don't resonate with me, at least right now. So Christ is a spiritual conduit that extends between the father and mother and the children. The Christ came, I believe, to show us the best of all the ways, the best of all the truths, the best of all the lives, to a path for us to follow back to the father and mother. That's who the Christ was, and that's what the Christ message was all about. The Christ said, I'm the true vine. My Father is the husbandman. Every branch of me that bears not fruit, he takes away, and every branch that bears fruit, he purges that it may bring forth more fruit. This is explaining the reincarnation process. But the Christ really has come now to show us how to do it in one day. Not one day, one human lifetime. I'm sorry. One human lifetime. Can you understand how beautiful this is? Even if you're a branch that's not producing fruit, you don't eternally get destroyed. You just get recycled so you can bring forth more fruit at another time. Isn't that simple? Isn't that easy? Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that powerful? That is good stuff. Let me tell you right now, that's really good stuff. And that's the way that we want to know. That's the way we want to think. That's the way that we want to believe. Again, Sarita, never read them. Can't say. Don't know. So, mother and father are not in the place of throwing people into lake of fire. That's the work of the rat bastard, the Lord, the God of the Bible. He that shall not be named, but has to be named because there's so many new people coming in. We've got to give the context. The Bible was brought together by Eastern and Western Roman emperors and the English kings and queens, which is extremely telling. You hear me talk about this all the time. Ask yourself, what's the greatest confusion factor in this world today when speaking of the Bible? Folks, none of you would read, some of you would never touch the Donald Trump authorized version. The rest of you would never touch the Hillary Clinton authorized version. Oh, that's right, she lost. Some of the rest of you would never touch the Barack Obama authorized version. But the Bible that you hold today and that some of you revere today was vetted and approved by the Roman Empire and vetted and approved by the English kings and queens. What you have is the authorized version of Roman government, Roman Caesars, the authorized version of British kings and queens, the authorized version of not one but two new world orders, not one but two world empires. It is the exact logical equivalent of the Donald Trump authorized version. It is the exact logical equivalent of the Barack Obama authorized version. You would be if you're a person that would like the Donald Trump authorized version, you'd be very, very, very critical of the Barack Obama authorized version, wouldn't you? You'd check it, you'd make a list, you'd check it twice. If you're a person that would like the Barack Obama version, you would check that Donald Trump version thoroughly. But you don't, do you? You just read it and you believe it because you might not have a spirit if you'll do that. You might be already under an artificial intelligence God because you don't want to think for yourself. You just want to let what the king and the queen and the Caesars say rule your life. The Bible is a mixing of good and evil that has created confusion. Literally, folks, the Bible is Babel. Bible, Babel, Babel, Bible. It's confusion. And then some decide to take these writings and put them into a single book, which is a biblos. Therefore, we have the name Biblion Babylon. Look at that. That's profound stuff. Bible, Babel, Biblion, which is I believe that's the Greek word for Bible. Biblion Babylon. Folks, it's plain, it's clear, and you should have seen it by now. But that's why you have the friendly neighborhood Christian whistleblower. I'm here to show you. The Antichrist, or that which is against the Christ, has distorted the true Christ. Antichrist doesn't mean Damien the Omen. Antichrist doesn't mean some Jesuit, Marzulli, Scotty Clark, future boogeyman coming. Antichrist simply means against the Christ. The false apostle Paul was the first human Antichrist. The Lord God of the Bible is the ultimate spiritual Antichrist. I don't make these things up. I just report the news. Don't shoot the messenger. Or if you want, go ahead and take your best shot, because I'm 10 feet tall and bulletproof, yo. But the Bible, it's the best we got, and there's, even most of it's good. Well, if you have a glass of drinking water and I can put 5% arsenic into it, Even though it's 95% good, it'll still kill you. That's why I say the Bible is 80% best diamond, or 80% best dung, 20% best diamond. But I say that the Bible is worth, the 20% is worth digging through the 80%, because there's some really, really, really good stuff in that 20% in the Bible. And we're looking for more highlighted parts, because that's the parts that I thought were really profound. So check this out. Interesting point, AJ. In everything, do unto others what you would have them do unto you, for this sums up the law and the prophets. It's time to fully begin to understand that the love the Father and Mother has for us is deeper than any love we might be able to comprehend. If we ourselves can show unconditional love in our state of awareness, then why do we suppress the same love coming from our divine parents? Why is it that we could ever believe that the father and mother would destroy their own children? Why? Because we lacked the knowledge of the Christ and have been trusting and following a false God. That's the only way you could believe such a horrific teaching. The internal seed of the father and mother is eternal, internal, eternal. It's like the ocean. It's eternal and it's internal. That which comes, see again, it's inside. It's not from outside. We're over halfway through the book. What was that? As in the Adam seed, which is from the Lord, the God of the Bible, it brings death to everyone it touches. Christ brings life to all that the message of the Christ touches. So you can have one, you can have death, or you can have life. You can't have them both. You can follow the religion of Paul, it's going to lead to death, or you can follow the religion of Christ, it's going to lead to life. Not sometimes, not most of the time, but every single time. I guarantee it. Imagine this is what with books I agree with, this is how much I look at. Can you imagine the books that I don't agree with? This is an interesting verse right here. 2 Corinthians 4:4, in whom the archon of this cosmos has blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ should shine on them. Yaldabaoth, the archon, the Lord, has actually blinded the minds of people so that the gospel of Christ can't get to them. He's created people with a fallen mind. He's created people without a spirit. Can sometimes they be turned around? I want to say yes. He says death equals a virtual reality simulation. Life equals eternal reality. So I was saying earlier today, the day you die is the best day of your entire life, because you go from death to life. You go from a simulation to a reality. Death and life in this world is artificial. They say a virtual reality experience. Don't know if I'm 100% convinced of that. We are not dead. Our true consciousness, he says, are asleep. I don't know if I believe with that or not, but there's no doubt that many people are living inside a trance state illusion. Many people are living in a trance. I'm doing the best I can to wake as many of them up as we possibly can. It's extremely important that just because we're conscious does not mean we're awake. So just because people are conscious doesn't mean they're awake. That's why you don't cast your pearls before swine. You give it 1 try, 2 tries, 3 tries, you move on. Because just because somebody's in our chat room, just because somebody's on a truth channel, doesn't mean they're really awake. In fact, there are bad seeds, evil seeds coming into the chat rooms, coming into the truth movement, so-called, in order to derail us. People that just try to create distraction, people that just try to draw attention to themselves. And I take flack. I take a lot of criticism. I take considerable criticism for being hardcore with my chat room. I take considerable criticism because Jeff is always banning people. Jeff is always censoring people. First of all, it's not true. It takes a lot to get banned from this channel, but the work that we do here is too important that I'm not going to let people that are here to distract from the message and call attention to themselves to allow to stay in the chat rooms. And if that bothers you, then that bothers you, but that's the way it is. And it is not restriction of free speech. You have free speech. If you want to have something that you want to preach and teach that's in opposition to what I preach and teach, you can preach and teach it. You just can't preach and teach it here. You can start your own channel. That's free speech. This is my channel. And I can control what happens on my channel. You can control what happens on your channel. You can make opinions, state opinions here. You can ask questions here. You can disagree here, but you can't be disagreeable, and you can't do things that disrupt the flow of information that I'm attempting to present, and you can't do things to simply draw attention to yourself. Not for long, because first you'll get your comment removed, then you'll get timed out, and then you'll get banned. And I still go back and let people back in, even though I shouldn't, after a while, and I end up banning them again usually. But anyway, there you go. Faith is a real power. Veltman hasn't been banned, but he got upset and took away and gave up his wrench thing. But if he comes back and does more of what he's been doing, he will be banned. He's welcome, but not if he's going to draw attention to himself and disrupt or distract. And no one's welcome that's going to disrupt or distract or draw attention to themselves. Faith is a real power. Faith is knowing that you have the supreme power of all universes, guiding, directing, controlling your life from the invisible realm. Faith is real, and it will never fail. Faith is real, and it will never, ever fail. Faith is the secret trust that is childlike. There's a reason the father and mother turned their back on us. And I've talked about this before. They set up this situation. They set up this arena for us. And then they said, okay, I've given you everything. I've prepared you with everything. Now show me what you got. They have to take their hands off, just like you don't still wipe your 30-year-old kid's butt, right? He does that on his own. At least mine does. Because you have to let them grow up. They simply let go to allow us to discover what we've learned in this process. I feel abandoned. Well, yeah, you probably felt abandoned first time you had to pay your own rent too. I feel like that God has left me and doesn't love me. Well, you probably felt that way too when you had to buy your first groceries on your own. Growing up is difficult. Growing up is not as easy as living with mommy and daddy and having them wash your clothes and cook your food and tuck you in at night. But you can't stay in that place because you're a grown adult. It's the same way with the divine. But I want a God that'll talk to me and tickle my head and pat me. The Elohim aren't going to do that because it's called real love. I was going to say tough love, but it's called real love. You got to grow up yourself, bro. You got to grow up yourself, sister. That's just the way it is. And that's real love. Helping you grow up. and take care of your damn self. The Elohim don't see you when you're sleeping. They don't know when you're awake. They don't care if you've been bad or good. They're not making a list. They're not checking it twice. They gave you everything you could ever need and ever want and said, go show me how you can do it. Because Mama God, Dad God, baby God grows up to be Mama God, or Daddy God. How's your growth process going, my brother? How's your growth process going, my sister? The fruits are the qualities of our divine parents. The fruits of the Spirit are the internal and the eternal qualities of our father and mother. So we can judge ourselves by how we're doing. Love, joy, peace. Do you have love in your life? Do you have joy in your life? Do you have peace in your life? Patience, kindness, faith, gentleness, meekness, temperance. Every time we use these fruits, we know that we're becoming closer to the divine. This entire process that we have here in this world is to learn to be characterized by these. It's just that simple. And here's a little handy dandy guide. I like this. If you're fearful and doubting, replace it with faith and trust. If you hate, replace it with love. If you're unhappy, replace it with joy. If you're agitated, replace it with peace. If you're intolerant, replace it with patience. If you feel betrayed, replace it with gentleness. If you feel used, replace it with kindness. And sometimes, if you're betrayed or used, the best thing to do is to get away from people that are betraying you or using you. That's the gentlest thing you can do sometimes. Instead of punching somebody in the face that's betrayed you, you just remove them from your life. If someone uses you, when someone shows you who they are, you believe them. If you're proud and boastful, replace it with meekness. When you're tempted to do wrong, do right. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. Do the fruits align with the actions, or are the fruits dark and illusory? That's how you judge people. That's how you judge entities. Do they line up with the fruit of the Spirit, or do they not? Anytime you witness something contrary to these fruits, then no, it doesn't come from the father or mother. It's impossible for divine parents to go against their nature. When you read the Bible or any other writing, if you use these fruit and come upon something that's not of these fruit, then you know that it's false seed. When you read about a God who's killing people, you know that's not a real God. When you read about a God that says, rip a baby out of its mother's womb, you know that's not a real God. When you read about a God that says, kill every firstborn child, you know that's not a real God. When you read about a God that's coming back killing people, you know that's not a real God. It should be a red flag. It's been a red flag, but you've been painting them green for 2,000 years. And we're going to stop at page 153. And we're going to go into the chat room, and we're going to look at the questions. We're going to look at the answers, and we're going to see what we can see in the chat room. You've listened to me. I at least give you the honor of reading what you've said. As it grows and grows, it's going to be harder and harder, but you know what? We're doing it right now. I got a nice letter today from a lady named Connie. It's very happy to get that. Very appreciative to get that. Thank you, Connie. And thank you for that came with it. I appreciate it very, very much. I haven't heard a squawking parrot. I'm not telling you what the intention is. It's private. Is the Spirit trying to connect with the Christian whistleblower? Someone who recently is knocking on Jeff's heaven door? I don't know. Are children of the adversary what the emerald children call? I don't know. Again, I haven't read those, Sebastian, my friend. I have a friend that says if she needs to hear anything, she needs God. I just tell her I laughed. Yeah. A pompous thought in general. Thank you. Wow. Let's delight in the process. The Cain-Abel teaching was a good one. Thank you, Blue Apple. Have I seen you before? If not, I salute you for being here. How did I come up with the teaching on Abel? It just comes to me. Just boom, it's there. Barack Obama has an authorized Quran. Ah, I see what you did with that, Iowa. That was good stuff. That was good stuff. What about Emperor Constantine? He was an emperor who started who started real Christian evangelism at the edge of the Roman sword. It makes sense, AJ. Absolutely. Tower, where is Mazdan? I don't know. Mazdan must be doing some work or something, man. Does the Christ need polarity to teach his message? I would say no. 1 tablespoon of machine oil will contaminate an aircraft carrier's water supply. Wow. I agree with you, Sebastian. Good one, CS, about that shooting yesterday. God's Training Army. GTA, 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 Gospel Truth Army. I'll go with God's Training Army. Well, I don't like God, Nigel. I know, I'm picky. I'm picky. It almost shows different bloodlines. Almost, AJ. The Bible has terrified people into submission, but no more. The Bible, as Nigel says. My 6-year-old said yesterday, I feel like I'm asleep today. Interesting. The personality split in the rat bastard. I feared the God of the Bible until Jeff told me that's his goal. Bam. Plastic Jesus is a shepherd looking after his people. A shepherd that leads you into dark places. A shepherd that doesn't even let you eat out of the presence of your enemies. How long did we fall for that crap? I bet you do, Jeff. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not sure what that means. Which is different from a little levity. No, Lee Veltman. If you were one, you would know it. Make your own grass. I'm not sure what that means, Nigel. It must be an Australian saying. Growing old is compulsory. Growing up is optional. Yeah. My 35-year-old brother needs this message. Can you clear up for me the difference between Enki, Enlil, and the Elohim? Think simply. I'm not trying to dodge the question, but I just don't care enough to try to figure out aligning Enki, Enlil, and the Elohim. I don't know which one is which. And I don't mean to be, I really don't care. I've never felt compelled to match up the names within the pantheons. Maybe it's a good idea, but I've never felt compelled to do it. So is Enki Christ? Is Enlil Yahweh? I don't know, probably, but I just don't feel compelled to really go down that path. Maybe that's something you can do for me, but I just don't want to do it. Isn't calling it our damn selves contradictory to love? Are you mincing words with me, Sue Duda? Sue, are we cross? Get away from gaslighting. I don't even know what gaslighting is. It isn't rocket science. I agree. It popped on me. Sorry about that. It's not rocket science. I live my whole life with those rules. I remove all negativity in my life. There you go, Christine. Good for you. Jeff, you would make a great exorcist. I've been a great exorcist. It is a sociopath God, Sebastian. You're right on, brother. GTA. Emerald City is the end of the gold. Yeah, okay. Very good show. Thank you. Thank you. It's about those who passed on during the Texas shooting. Yep. Some of you have to take care of parents. Yep. It's too bad. Some of the statements. What is that? Okay. Good. I have a little mint jelly with that lamb. Yeah. Mow your own grass, fill your own fridge, wash your own car. Got it. Got it. Take charge of your own soul. I don't know what gaslighting even means. What does that mean? Gaslighting. Gaslighting. To manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. Sounds like a lot of work. All right. We got through all of the chat room. Powerful. Good stuff. Strong stuff. From an old movie's title. It's all good. Think simply, I'm not coming at you, but Elohim is a Hebrew term. The Anunnaki stuff was Sumerian, so the Anunnaki couldn't coin the term Elohim because they weren't speaking in Hebrew. So that's an incorrect statement in my view. Learn to use the rods. Still doing what hands? Let's do a little bit about the rods right now, because I know a lot of you are getting them. The first thing you do with your rods when you get them is check and make sure I filed down the edges enough, because somebody said they poked themselves, but I think they were somebody that had become a hater. But anyway, if your rods are a little rough on the end, just take some sandpaper or go outside and rub them on the road. That's all. And if they get a little bent, you can straighten them out. I hammer them out with a rubber mallet. I try to get them as straight as I can. But when you get the rods and, just handle them a lot. Handle them, touch them. They seem to work better when they're warm. So you handle them. I would even suggest maybe you keep them around you a lot. Carry them around. Some people said they've slept with them or slept with them next to them. They are copper, Sebastian. But, you hold them. Then you got to find a baseline. And mine, yours may be different than mine, but I say, show me yes. And I got to, you know what? If you get one that's different, because when I make them, I always say, show me yes, show me no. So they already have my yes or no built into them. So if you get one that says, you say, show me yes, and it does anything but that, let me know, because that would be interesting. That means you got a strong intention. So the first thing I do is show me yes. Thank you. And I speak to them I'm polite to them. Please show me yes. Thank you. Please show me no. Thank you. Treat your rods like you treat your tarot cards. I agree with that. So then you have a baseline. You know what yes is. Please show me yes. Please show me no. There you go. Some people will say, please show me maybe. I don't really deal in maybe, so I don't do that. And then you just ask questions, or you ask them to point things out. It's really not. There are some people that rods don't work for. I haven't met very many of them, but there are some people that rods don't work for. Sometimes they don't resonate with people. That's why I also make these pendulums. And it's got a pearl up top. It's a faux pearl, and it's got the pendant at the bottom. So you can hold on to the pearl and you hold up the pendulum. And the pendulum would be, you know, you do the same thing. Show me yes. For me, a yes is a circle to the right. And I'm not moving it. That's just what it's doing. Show me no. And see, it does a circle in the opposite direction. Is my no. So some people like pendulums better. So let's do some pendulum questions today. So give me some questions. And instead of doing rods, we're going to do pendulums. Hit me with some questions. I'm going to start making wands. Is Sebastian a troll? No, Sebastian's not a troll. My pendulum is rose quartz. Well, aren't you fancy? They cost too much for it to be. Are the Anunnaki the Elohim? Mine is saying a no. Oh, no, that's a yes. That can't be right. Are the Anunnaki the Elohim? It says yes. Let me check that. I resonate a little more with rods. Are the Anunnaki the Elohim? Okay, so it's kind of the same. They're talking about the same thing. That's interesting. I would have disagreed with that. Are the Anunnaki under Antarctica? Whoops. Are the Anunnaki under Antarctica? Dude, that says yes again? Okay, check this out. Are the Anunnaki under Antarctica? Dude, that's some heavy stuff right there. Must be 6 o'clock because Rooney's over here trying to get him some meaties. Wow. Is my ex significant other trying to get back into my life again? Says CS. This says no. Is CS's ex significant other trying to get back into her life again? Is CS's ex significant other trying to get back into her life again? Says no. Wow. I'm impressed with this. I'm impressed with this. I'm impressed with this. Stand up when using the pendulum. Don't tell me what to do. I'm the boss of me. All right. But anyway, there's the pendulums. They're on the website now. They're nice. If you think I'm wiggling it off screen, then probably not much I can do to help you. All righty then. Thank you for being here. I salute you for seeking after truth. I'm the Christian Whistleblower. I hope that you'll continue to guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, and be your own guru. I don't do the Las Vegas stuff. And be the own guru. Be your own guru. I salute you that are here seeking after truth. Unindoctrinate yourself. and stay fearless, my friends.